Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today we got Brandon.
Yep.
We're here to talk about games and things.
And some games and things.
Yeah. What's on the agenda today? Resident Evil, Requiem,
Mhm.
Zup, Marathon, Pokemon. Lots of big things this week. Surprisingly busy week for the middle of, end of February, early March. So, yeah, ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll start with Resident Evil since we both played it.
Yep.
So, Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil 9, all sorts of fun things.
Yeah,
How far did you get? I know
my
you
question
said you
is,
only got a little time.
yeah, I got to, let's see. I'm going to look at my achievements so I can actually see. Okay, so I guess the second main Grace thing, where like there's that baby patrolling the halls, like the gigantic one after you
Oh,
found.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about Chunk.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's about where I am.
Okay.
So like maybe 3 or 4 hours, somewhere around there.
Sounds about right, I would say. Yeah. Still pretty reasonably, definitely not like halfway through yet. Still pretty
No.
reasonably early.
Yeah.
Yeah. I finished it. I'm all done.
That's
So,
awesome.
hmm yeah. Um, so I
So
mean,
I
we'll
take it
talk.
you liked it.
Yeah, I would say if I was going to rank like top Resident Evil games, this probably would be, I would say probably in the top three overall.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, I don't know exactly where I would rank it, like where in, but I mean, I've definitely, I've thought about it long enough to know like, hey, this is one of the best ones, but not quite like how I would shake it down. Also, it's due because I still do have some holes in there, like 7 and 8. Um, but at least kind of comparatively with where things are, I would say like, yeah, at least top three. So, um, yeah, I think it's a wonderful game. I think it's a great mix between kind of 7 and 8 and kind of like more like the action like 4 kind of thing.
Hmm.
I would even go as far to say as like I think that the so I guess listeners I probably should say so you're playing as two protagonists as you probably know. So Grace is the main female protagonist, and her stuff plays more like Resident Evil 7 slash like classic like Resident Evil style games, where
Yep.
it's kind of more like atmospheric and horror based and puzzle based and that side of things. Then you have Leon, where his is kind of more like action horror, where you're really there's lots of kind of like intense stuff going on. It's supposed to kind of thrill you, but it's definitely more like you can fight your way out of it. It's more action based.
I
You're not
think
really like
I
running
think
around
there's an
solving
even
puzzles.
easier way to explain it, and
Hmm.
that's just to say like Grace's chapter is Resident Evil 7, whereas Leon's is quite literally Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I mean, probably to some degree, as long as people have like familiarity with it. And I'm just trying to kind of elaborate what like the differences are for people who
Okay,
may not
yeah.
have played 7 or 8.
Which, by the way,
Um,
Leon's first like level where like
mhm.
everything is happening. He's like following the guys. He's like shooting the people, which is infecting them and causing them to turn and everything. That level is so fucking cool. That level was awesome. Just like seeing like all the cars crash and everything as the outbreak starts happening around you. That shit was so cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice scene. I honestly, I think in terms of this game, like the game and kind of how things are, like I do think it has like honestly, I think the pacing's like really good. Like there's not a lot of times there's games where I'm like, hey, I'm in this section where I don't really feel like attached to it, or I feel like it's overwhelming, or just kind of like annoying. I really didn't even have any like sections like that, and it has like great set pieces like you mentioned, like that one, there's definitely some kind of later in the game. I also should note too, because this discussion came up a week or so ago when we were talking about it before it came out, and my decision to like skip past 7 and 8, go right to 9. I don't think that was a wrong decision. Um, I don't think that there was anything truly relevant from those two games that I really felt like I was missing out in the story from this game. There's only one line that I noticed in the game that was very obviously like a throwback to the other games, and it was a throwaway line, like either in the ending or in the final boss fight. I can't remember which one it was, and it was complete enough that it didn't make me feel like I was missing something. either. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I can see how this kind of connects to other games, but not in any like way so much that like I'm like, oh, I need to know what this was to understand this. It's just more like, oh, okay, I I get it. Yeah, but you're right. Like I like those set pieces, and I like kind of too how it breaks up the gameplay because you'll have a little bit of Grace and a little bit of Leon, a little bit of Grace, a little bit of Leon, and that kind of plays back and forth, and yeah, you just get some nice kind of like passing back and forth. But
I'm gonna be
it
honest.
definitely can be
I don't
hectic.
know if I would call it a little bit of Grace. I feel like there's substantially more gameplay for Grace's part than there is for Leon's. I feel like Leon's parts come and go very, very quickly, and I'm
You have
not
not played
sure.
enough to make this
Yeah,
assessment.
okay, okay, all right. Well, I'm saying like I was trying to get there and say at least
Mhm.
in the early games areas, I feel like I got like 5 minutes with Leon and like fucking 4 hours with Grace.
Yes, and that it does radically shift by the end of the game
And
to
see,
the
yeah,
opposite.
and that makes
Mhm.
sense. That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
But at least in the opening parts, I definitely know like Grace's part takes a lot more precedence over Leon, at least at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and then kind of as you progress and get through like kind of the different areas, kind of like as you do in Resident Evil games, like
Hmm.
it kind of has like a like definitely like that shift where it kind of like I said, it almost exactly mirrors itself kind of on the way out.
Hmm.
Um, but it works perfect because for me like the beginning of the game is kind of more of the slower horror stuff, but then as you get to the climax it's more of like the action pace stuff. um but there's still enough back and forth that I did not feel like I was spending too much time in one or the other.
Hmm.
Actually, I think Grace, especially for me, without really the strong experience with 7 and 8, like I needed that longer time up front to
Hmm.
acclimate because that was my hardest part of this game because it's so different to what I'm used to Resident Evil wise.
Hmm.
Um, and then once I got the hang of that, it felt much better. But it did like the Grace sections initially for me were very frustrating, and then like once I got it and felt comfortable, I was like, okay, I feel good with this. Um, but it did take a while. There definitely was a point, actually, probably right about where you were, where I was very concerned that I may have soft locked myself. Um, Basically, I put myself in a situation that was just unescapable. Um,
I'm kind of, I kind of am like that right now. I have no ammo. I'm kind of just having to run past everything and
yes.
hope for the best.
And that's kind of where it is. The game really honestly gives you like a good amount of resources, but a lot of
Mm,
it really took me a bit to figure out because there were some things that really it did not explain kind of up front until you see them. Because I'd be like, what's with all this blood? Like it really took me like I did not find the blood collector until like a decent chunk through the game. And
mm.
then I was like, okay, now I get what this is for, and now I can use it. But I didn't have that like until I really knew what it was. Like I think it probably honestly was after where you already are. Because I don't
I'm
remember
already using the
when.
blood collector right now, so I that's not my experience right now.
Yeah, which is good because it is really nice like crafting. I like how they use that for crafting system. Like it kind of gives you like a reward
Hmm.
for defeating enemies instead of just kind of running past them. Be like, all right, you can if you have the resources, re get more ammo or get more healing items if you need them.
Hmm.
So that I thought was really kind of nice the way that they did that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, there definitely was some chunks there where I was like, this is a little tight. And then there was, another section kind of near the end of the game where I kind of felt that way too.
Hmm.
But I expected a little bit more at the end of the game
Hmm.
because that's like, hey, you've been resource managing for, forever now.
Yeah.
So let's see what you can do with it. Um, but the game, I do feel like I said, really gives you more than enough resources, really rewards you kind of exploring and going out of your way to kind of unlock things or find rooms or places that you may not have necessarily needed to go.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's great. honestly too, I find Leon's action segments are so satisfying that it's actually kind of retroactively made me want to play the Resident Evil 4 remake. Um, Whereas before I was kind of like, as you remember, because I know we've talked about it
I don't
before.
know how much you care about owning it physical or whatever, but I saw it for like $15 at Walmart today, for the
Oh,
Xbox
that is
and
good.
PS5 version. So you know.
Honestly, at this point, I have too many Resident Evils to play as it is. But also B, I have a there's a part of me that because I know Capcom, and
Hmm.
fucking 2, 3, and 4 are coming to the Switch too. Like it is happening. The remakes, I'm sure.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I would bet money on it. And then on top of that, I also am kind of like, wow, it'd be really cool if they did like a second generations pack, which I could see them doing.
absolutely.
Um, and then it would just do that. But yeah, I mean, I have more than enough Resident Evils right now, so I'm not like in a rush to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely probably, if they do release there, I definitely will go through. Especially Leon stuff. Honestly, even because the Resident Evil games, generally story wise, the rule of thumb is you really just need to have played the games where the main characters of the game you want to play have already played. So,
Hmm.
like with this one with 9, Leon's games are 2, 4, and 6. So if you have those, you have a pretty good idea of where Leon is there. And honestly, some of the kind of callbacks in this game really made me want to go back through and play some of like Leon's older games.
Hmm.
Um, Even 6. I'm like, ooh, 6 kind of sounds appealing to play right now. No clue why.
And then you stop yourself and you're like, "What the fuck is wrong with me?"
I mean, really, because I would have to like re-download it, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. I didn't buy it on the Switch, so I'd have to just like I'd have to purchase it. Like it's not in the cards right now.
Yeah.
Um, but it is one of those things that like, oh, I could see that. So that is all there. Trying to think what else is really good. Like I honestly, I have lots of great things to say about the game. I don't really have like a ton of negative things. Um, like I said, I do find it's really really enjoyable. What else? What other thoughts do you kind of have on it?
Um, I'm kind of just impressed with how atmospheric it is, especially in the gray sections, like I mentioned before.
Mhm.
I also think it is the best game that I've played on my new monitor.
Oh,
Cause
I'm sure.
holy shit, the so like my new monitor is like mini LED, which is as close to OLED as you can get pretty much without paying OLED prices. But apparently mini LED is actually way better for HDR. And holy shit, that game in HDR is nuts. Just like everything looks pitch black when you're like looking down a hall. So like there's like an entire moment when you're playing as Grace early in the game where like you can press um the light switch
Mhm.
and you see it go from being like pitch black to a light flickering down the hall and then like flickering and getting closer and closer and then shutting itself off. Seeing that happen in like a high quality HDR screen was really fucking cool.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it looks fantastic.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it definitely. I mean, it's a great looking game. So
Oh,
it's.
absolutely.
I think even too. I was watching Digital Foundry's kind of like comparison stuff yesterday, and they had lots of glowing things to say about it as well.
Mhm.
Um, I think my most shocking takeaway from the video was they decided that the Switch 2 version was actually not the worst version of this game.
Yeah.
Um, which that award goes to the Xbox Series
Series
S.
S. Yep.
Yeah. Which I guess it has a more stable frame rate.
Mhm.
However, it looks like dog shit. So trade off. Uh, and really, I would even say too, like, I mean, I would even say my time with it too. The only thing that I like that stood out to me as being kind of funky, like the hair on the Switch is just kind of weird. Leon's is
Mm.
fine, but like, because they decided to go with kind of that strandier look for Grace.
Mhm.
Um, and so it just kind of it has some moments where you're just kind of like, um, but honestly, between this and Cyberpunk, like these games are really gonna ruin my outlook on the Switch stuff because stuff that's coming out looks really nice and it's holding up much better than I think I could have ever anticipated kind of
Mhm.
going into this platform. So Yeah, I mean, kudos to Capcom. They did a great job making this run really well. And honestly, I think it's just a fantastic game. I'm very excited for it. It seems likely that they'll do DLC for it because
Mm.
that's just their MO
Well, they
generally.
did with
But
8, so they'll probably do it with this one.
they did. I mean, I can't even think of the last one that they did not do it with. Really. Um,
I was just trying to think, and I can't either.
yeah, because I mean, seven had some extra stuff.
Hmm.
Six, I know, had like a whole what eight a side story or something on there too. Um, yeah, so I mean, it's definitely they've been doing that for a while. So I'd be surprised if they didn't. I know a lot of people are really clamoring for a mercenaries mode with this.
Yep.
Um, and I could see that being a lot of fun. Like I said, I think Leon's stuff is fantastic. Um, so I mean, I think that is one of the, I don't know, it just it's so smooth. And just kind of the way that things play out just work really well. So
Hmm.
I'm really happy about that. I'm excited for the amiibo. Those are announced for June. They're coming out
Nice.
um there. So there's that. Overall, it took me about 10 hours to finish the game.
That's
Kind
what
of
pretty
about
much
what I finished.
everyone's reporting. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that just very, very typical there. But I definitely finished it and was like, I'm like, I could see myself going right back into this again. Um, so I had a good time with it. I didn't go back into it from there, but I did have a very good time with it. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's something else from this to mention, but I'm probably not going to think of it now, of course.
Mm.
Is there anything else on Resident Evil you want to talk about?
No, I just think it's a really good game. I'm very happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, I am like I'm very happy with turned how well it turned out. I'm very happy that it went in like pretty much without knowing anything about the game.
Hmm.
So that was a nice surprise kind of as I worked my way through it. And I really like a lot of the positive changes that they did here. I think they really put together a nice product that's kind of like best of both worlds. So be interesting to see what's coming up next on
Hmm.
that front there. Um, I did though, kind of on that note. I'll just keep talking because my next thing is pretty relevant too. I actually, and this will probably come up again next week, maybe. I did actually go right into Resident Evil 7 after this.
Nice.
So I finished that. I did play parts of Resident Evil 7 before. I don't even remember when. It had to have been while we were doing the podcast, but I don't know when it was. It's been so long. I know I didn't finish it for sure.
Hmm.
And I know at this point I've definitely gotten further than I had previously because I remember generally about what I did to finish, at least what I remember finishing. But my memories on this game are so hazy that like the things that I did remember were kind of later in the game, and the things I didn't remember were like up front. Like I did not remember basically like the first boss battle at all. Um, and I was like, I was even second guessing if I even got to that part. But I really remember doing a boss battle later on this.
Hmm.
Uh, I, but I would say at this point, I'm at least probably a third of the way through Resident Evil 7, from what I can gather. I do really like it. I mean, obviously, it plays a lot like we were just talking about, like the gray sections from Resident Evil 9. I think it does a good job with what's there. I think that Resident Evil Requiem obviously is a bit smoother and more um, has better balance, I would
Hmm.
say. There's definitely some things that are kind of like strange with this Resident Evil 7 comparatively, although this was essentially a reboot for the franchise, so it's not terribly surprising.
Hmm.
Like some of the stuff like what's the word I'm looking for? Like some of the crafting things I think is kind of weird because you always have to have what's that stuff? Like the oil or whatever that thing is you use to craft things. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. Because it'd be like, oh, you got to have this and this and this
Hmm.
and this. Instead of just being like, all right, I want to combine like three herbs and have like a pretty hefty um, healing item kind of thing. But I do think that the storytelling that Seven does, I think, is great. Like I do, and I even recall that from when I played it before. I think that it does an excellent job, kind of storytelling in this, and kind of being immersive in this uh, aspects there. And I have to say, honestly, I mean, Resident Evil Requiem had its like moments of scares, but Resident Evil 7 definitely had a moment where it made me basically like jump out of my pants, and I was like, "You motherfuckers!" Um, and it did kind of this thing. I was being chased by the wife there, and I was like, "Oh, let me shimmy down this hallway to get away from her."
Hmm.
And when I got to the end, um, or what was it? I heard her coming, and she wasn't chasing me yet. I knew she was kind of running. I'm like, well, let me shimmy down this hallway and get away from her. And so I shimmy down kind of like this secret passage hallway. I get to the end, and of course she's standing right fucking there. And I'm
Yep.
like, oh, I'm like, let me turn back around and get to the end. When we're not going this way. When I got to the end, bitch just jumped out of nowhere and was like, gotcha. And I'm like, oh fuck.
Hmm.
I was like, that is so clever. And I'm like, I'm so glad they thought that through because they knew that people were going to be like, I'm so clever. They're not going to follow me down this hallway. Yeah, they're not going to follow you around. They're just going to run around the other side and grab your ass. So, um, I mean, I thought that some of those kind of jumps I thought like were just excellent. I also think the other thing that I think Resident Evil 7 does really well, especially in the boss encounters that I've had, is they really do a good job of encouraging you to explore the environment during a boss fight. Not something that's necessarily new to the Resident Evil franchise, but I feel like it's much more consistent here.
Hmm.
Um, and they do a great job of kind of giving you multiple ways to kind of go into a boss um, fight to kind of um, address kind of what's going on there. But yeah, so I really have been enjoying that as well. I've been kind of like, even since I put it down last night, I was like, man, I just want to go right back and play it. But I'm like, I gotta go to bed. So I'm definitely itching to finish that up there. I don't know if I'd jump right into 8 after this because I think that's just asking for burnout, and now I have too many things on my
I
plate. So
I understand completely, but 8 is like a direct continuation of 7. And I
no, I
highly
know
recommend
that.
it.
Yeah,
So,
no, I know 7 and 8 are like literally direct to each other.
hmm.
But I also kind of feel like if I just jump right into 8, then I might just burn myself out on the whole thing. So we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling when I'm done with 7. Um, I don't think I've ever really gotten through a trilogy of games back to back to back well. So, um, but we'll see. But I am really enjoying it so far. So we'll see if I can keep up this momentum and go into it. Um, I'll just finish out what I've been playing too, since
Hmm.
that is all there. Other things that I have been playing. This will go tie into news. We'll talk about a little bit more, but Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green were released. I think I talked about it last week. I did pre-order Fire Red, so I did get a little chance to play that
Hmm.
over the weekend. It plays really nice. I mean, it plays just like you would expect a Game Boy Advance game to play on the Switch. Like it's got to be essentially running more or less the same emulator. So it runs pretty smoothly. We know this game is going to have home support, although it's not there now. There are a couple changes that they did make to this game. Um, Most of them are not too wild, but just the ones that I know off the top of my head, they did put a profanity filter in, so you can't name your Jigglypuff like shithead anymore. Like that is the game
Hmm.
will just be like, we're not going to do that, and just kind of glance over it. So that's one thing. Second thing, I guess they did fix a major glitch that's been well known in this game, where if you run into kind of one of the roaming Pokemon like Entei or whatever, like
Hmm.
and they roar, they will disappear and they will never come back.
Okay.
So apparently that has been fixed. Just randomly, they did decide to go in the code and make a switch there. And then the last thing that I know is they did actually add back in the event items that were made for this game. So similar to Pokemon Crystal, where you could get Celebi at the end of the game with the event item, they did add the event items into this game, and you get them after beating the Elite Four there. Otherwise, the game runs great. Like it runs really smoothly. Only other like tip that I would say to people is, don't accidentally press all the face buttons at the same time, like A, B, X, Y. They did also make it so that X and Y are tied to start and select.
Hmm.
And if you ever played a Game Boy Advance game, you may recall that pressing A, B, start, select was kind of like a um, button reset, like a soft reset for a game. So if you hit all those games, you will suddenly not have saved and just be back to the start screen. So just be careful with that. Pro tip. Um, but otherwise, yeah, if you're looking for those games, I think they run really smoothly. I don't really have any issues with it in terms of like how it plays. Like it's Pokemon. If you played Pokemon, you know what it is. These are the classics, and you're in for a treat if you've not played them before. I think these are some of the best ones. So those are good. Did you have any questions on Pokemon? I know
No,
you've played it. So okay.
I
So
thought about buying it. I have like $20 in credit on my Switch too. I was thinking about getting it.
yeah, I mean, if you're looking for Pokemon, it is always a good thing. I mean, we'll talk more in news. Like there was a bunch of stuff that was kind of announced for the 30th anniversary, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think it's actually I don't remember where it was. Somewhere I saw it was like they're like, hey, this is the best like Pokemon game, and it is now available on the Switch. Like this is the best like traditional Pokemon game.
Hmm.
It's not necessarily lie. Like the classics are classics for a reason, and they are a lot of fun. So, yeah, there's that last thing to touch on here. This one's super brief, but it is very random. So I thought I would share. Uh, so I randomly decided to, sometime in the last month, also decided to buy the cardboard Virtual Boy.
Oh, okay.
um, I know it's weird. This is just me being weird. I really wanted it because, a for the VR stuff. If I did want to use it, there's the ability there. But also, this is a lot easier to use with the original Switch One, which sounds weird, but there are some moments where I like the idea of being able to play the Virtual Boy on the Switch One console, just because of ease of reach. As weird as that sounds, because the thing with the cardboard one is it is designed to work with both. So I was like, oh, I can use this there. I don't have to, like, if I want to sit down and lay on the couch, I don't have to mess around with the stand, whatever. I can just hold it. It's less comfortable, but it does offer some other advantages. And that's kind of what I was thinking with it. Um, so just some things I wanted to say about it. A, it works really well. Actually, I think it works in some ways better than the other one. The difference is, though, I would say like the actual Virtual Boy shell, like the plastic shell, it gives you like a very legitimately accurate to some degree experience. Like I that feels like Virtual Boy to me when I play it. When I play on the cardboard ones, um, it does still play like Virtual Boy. It is 3D. It doesn't look like Virtual Boy though, and I don't really know how to express that better. Um, it plays in 3D. It does that. I think it has to do with because the Virtual Boy, the plastic one, it has that like plastic kind of red glaze that goes over the eyepieces. So when you look into the Virtual Boy, it looks like the classic coloring, like that dark blacks and deep reds. The playing on the other one, it's almost kind of like a muted red. It's light. The darks are not as dark. I actually think it's less straining on the eyes in some ways. Because I remember too your comment from last week when we were talking about Virtual Boy, and you're like, "Hey, I'd like to play it, but I just, don't want to be kind of sucked into this like that red all the time." This is actually, I think, in some ways, less offensive. Um, so it might be an option to kind of consider there. And I don't even think you can really tell even just by looking at the screen, like, without the Virtual Boy thing in, like it really is. It is definitely a lighter shade of red.
Hmm.
Um, but that said, it does, like I said, it does work really well for what it is. It does give you, because you can connect and play with the Joy Cons in there, it does give you the ability to play the other VR games. And those all work very well with it. So that is kind of a nice option there. It works really easily and well with the Switch 1 and 2. It's just kind of, there's a piece on the cardboard. You just kind of got to flip up and down to let it know which system you're sliding in there. So it will hold it. But
Hmm.
works really well. So if you're just for people who are looking for just kind of a cheaper way to try the Virtual Boy stuff, that is an option there because I think those are like $25 on the Nintendo store. So, but there is that. That is literally everything I've been playing at the
Okay.
moment. So, yeah, that's a lot.
All right then.
Um, all right, talk about the rest of your things.
Yeah. So I played Marathon. I
Uh
played it a little bit over the weekend. There was a server slam for Marathon that lasted from. Let me see exactly when it was. Do 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 do. A server slam from Marathon. Shit, I'm dumb. I can't find it. Give me a second. Do, 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 do. Okay, it lasted from the 26th of February to March 2nd. That's how long it lasted. Uh,
Mhm.
and it was just like a server test and you could play like two of the maps and do some of the missions and everything, and it kind of gave you a feel for the game.
Yeah.
So I played 18 hours of that,
Okay.
and it was really good. Really, really good. I don't really know what else to say. It had the nice snappy gunplay of like Destiny or Halo. Um, yes, it's an extraction shooter, but honestly, where I've played like Arc Raiders and I really liked Arc Raiders, this just felt better being like a Halo slash Destiny fan and whatnot. The AI was really good and like learned to flank you, and like some of the AI habits were actually really cool. Like they would mimic player voices in chat.
Uh-huh.
That was neat. That was really
Interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the general idea of the world of Marathon is really cool as well because you were playing as essentially a ghost in the shell, like that movie Ghost in the Shell.
Hmm.
You are essentially a consciousness that's been uploaded to different shells. That's why the extraction element makes sense where whenever you die, you just come back next game or whatever and do it again, that sort of deal. Because it's your consciousness that's dying and not actually you. You get uploaded to the cloud and put into I mean it's the shell that's dying and not actually your consciousness. Your consciousness is uploaded into the cloud and gets put into another shell and yada 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 blah blah blah. This is a story about 30,000 people that went missing on this like expedition that was supposed to be like essentially like an arc where people would be starting a new life in space, and now you've found those places and all that stuff and you're exploring it and finding out what happened to the people that went missing. And there's a bunch of enemies that are, not real people, but also real people are also playing the game as well. So you have to deal with the real players as well as the enemy AI, which the enemy AI is very, very good. And each one of the factions that help put together this like arc, this like new world for people to live on, they have contributed in some way, and now they've got missions for you to do for them, which gives you like XP towards their group or like faction points towards their group. And it's very odd because it does feel just like I'm playing Halo or Destiny, but with an extraction shooter on top of it. But a lot of the elements that like feel out of place, like this is big colorful blue buildings that just don't really serve a purpose, or this sort of thing and that sort of thing that just feels out of there. But it makes a lot more sense when you realize that there were multiple sponsors for this new like world, and the sponsors had different things they were good at. So like some of them were, you know rogue sponsors that like are tasking you with stopping other players from finding out about this new world that you're exploring. So those people, they want you to kill players. They want you to hunt down specifically players and kill them. Other ones are like, "Hey, I need you to go and find these like data terminals and get information on what happened to those 30,000 people that went missing." And those people, those sponsors are like essentially the ones that are going to give you med things, and as you please more of your sponsors and stuff, you unlock different abilities and things for your character that you're playing as. So for instance, if I were to do one sponsorship and do like their priority task, which may be something like go to the South Hub, the North Hub, and download the shipping manifestos from that, and then upload them to the cloud for us to review and look over and find out, what happened to those things and what was supposed to be on board the ship when it was destroyed and whatnot. So you go to somewhere like that, and that person's going to give you items like core things that will increase your health or allow you more options for healing players yourself or something along those lines. Maybe they'll give you like a shield, which will give you, more capacity to make you be able to withstand things better and whatnot. And that's essentially where we're at with that game. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
Okay.
pretty cool. I like it a lot, and I like the idea of all these different sponsors that want you to do different things for them, kind of clashing together, and you working for all of them in different ways. I like the idea of like the world that exists here. It's really fucking cool. I really like the gameplay because again, it feels like Destiny. It feels like Halo. The gunplay is phenomenal. I put a lot of time into playing this one, and it isn't even out yet. So yeah, I've already bought it, and I don't know how long it'll remain out because there's a lot of people that seem to just want things to die right off the rip because they just don't want them to exist, and some YouTubers told them that it's a bad thing and it shouldn't exist, and it's like, okay, sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Uh,
Why make our own opinions?
yeah, why make our own opinions instead of choosing what other people can make up as opinions for you and that sort of deal. And yeah, I really liked the way this game handled the actual world, the gameplay. I like the art direction. I like all of that stuff, all of it. So I bought it already, and I'm going to be playing it um, for as long as it's still out there. I have seen Bungie have problems before in the past with games, and they pivoted in a way that they didn't just instantly close down on the servers or anything. So I do at least
Hmm.
have some hope that if they do run into problems with sales figures or whatever, that they don't just pull the plug instantly. I'm really hoping I'm correct about this, but either way, I will be playing it once it comes out because I absolutely had a blast playing it during the server test, and I'm really looking forward to playing it more. So it comes out on the 5th. So by the time this is out, you'll already know that if how it did.
Yeah.
So the game is probably out right now, but it's not right now as I'm talking, but it will be when you hear this. So yeah,
Watch the game just like randomly get canceled. Like, nope, we're done. Pulls a what's that game?
Highguard that
Okay.
just shut down.
Yes, that's the one.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll pull a high guard. There we go. That would be horrible. But
Hmm.
I'm glad you like it because I know because the initial previews for this were not very optimistic, weren't they? If
No,
I
no, they were
misremember.
not. They were not,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of things have been added to it and taken
Hmm.
away since then. I can actually talk about this now. I did test this game initially,
Hmm.
um, for a while now, and I have been testing it, and um, when the first test came out for this, which was mostly just people that got the email as well as like YouTubers and streamers and stuff that got accepted, um, I would not have had good things to say about this game then because it was a bit of a mess. It was kind of like not really able to find what it was like looking for. It didn't have like the spawns very well. Like sometimes you would just play and you'd never see another player at all. And then sometimes you'd have those moments where you do see other players and it's really cool and you have lots of really fun fights and whatnot. Also the world itself, which I do think in some ways was better in the closed version, but I can't really say much about that. The colors were even more vibrant, and had more of a like cell shaded vibe to it. It wasn't cell shaded, but it was like everything was a lot more colorful, not just like the buildings and everything. And it didn't have like the hyper realistic like lighting that it has now. But I will say, I don't really mind the changes that much. It does make it feel a little bit more generic, but the lighting looks really good in like indoor areas in a way that it's kind of hard to describe just how good it is. Again, I played this and Resident Evil Requiem in some days back and forth, and HDR, and this as well is really fucking good. Um, there's some areas in this that feel outright like a horror game as well. There's like an entire underground section in one of the maps that's like sectioned off because it got quarantined due to this invasive species that feels kind of like fucking little aliens that would just kind of follow you around, and the sound design is really good because you can like hear them like skittering around in the hallways and shit as you're like underground searching for items for like your loadout and whatnot, and for items to extract and bring back to like base and stuff. It's got some issues. It's I actually am very surprised at just how unintuitive the UI can be in some cases. So
Hmm.
it has this look sort of like it's at least very a Y2K aesthetic, it's very overly complicated, but it's really cool and it works when you're like going through the different factions and everything. What it doesn't work is when you carry over that same aesthetic to like selling items that you got and whatnot, and them having you sell them one at a time instead of giving you like an option for like a batch sell or anything like that. So there's some little quality of life things that should definitely be implemented, because without it, I do think there's going to be a few issues, because outright it can be kind of cumbersome outside of playing the game, like when you're back at your home base and when you're rooting through all your loot that you got and trying to figure out, hey, what should I keep and what shouldn't I keep. There is a clear thing that will tell you how, but you kind of have to jump through a lot of hoops to find out exactly what you're looking for, and then in order to actually sell items, it does take a while because of the fact that you have to sell them one at a time. And sometimes you're going to come back with like 40, 50 things in a bag, and selling some of those things one at a time, even if you sell like only 20 of them, that's still like 20 button presses across multiple different items. And it's just kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, makes sense. Um, I'm sure they'll keep tweaking things as they go on,
They have.
especially if
They
they've
were
been that receptive
actually
so
they were
far.
doing
So,
it literally during the stress
plate
test.
test.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
play test. So I fully expect them to continue doing something like that because they've already shown us that they will. So
Hmm.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, that's good. Hopefully it keeps up.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm definitely playing it. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on that
Nope,
or in
I got
general?
nothing else in general. But I mean, there's some news, quite a bit of news to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk a little bit about the Pokemon Presents. I'm not going to go down like a list. I'm just going to talk about the thing. I don't know, the things that I consider highlights.
Mm,
Um, so what do we got? We already talked about Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green. That's out now, available now.
mm-hmm,
So that was kind of a cool surprise, even though we knew about it a little bit in advance.
mm-hmm,
One thing I actually thought was really neat, although I doubt the practicality of it. Um, Another thing that they announced there for the anniversary was there's that Game Boy Music player. I thought that was kind of cool. Um, Although my biggest drawback to it is it has like freaking like 50 cartridges for different songs. That's too much. Um, that seems like a lot of work to be like, all right, I want to play a different song. Let me go find my Game Boy Advance cartridge and switch it in. But it looks cool. I will say that. I also wonder how well it sounds, but they did say they made a point. I don't remember if it was on the video or somewhere else that I had read it, but they made a point to point out that they went out of their way to make sure it sounds like a Game Boy as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. And by that I mean like the speakers and kind of like the output that the thing gives there. So there's that. Pokemon Champions, they did show off a little bit more of that. It's coming out in April. Like they said before, it's crossplay between like phone and Switch 2. Those are all there. You can bring your Pokemon over from home. It doesn't even look like they're going to be doing some kind of rewards for transferring certain Pokemon in. Like some Pokemon from Pokemon Legends ZA. Transferring them over will get you some rewards like Mega Stones and stuff. But that also goes to show that too, they're just not going to give you everything either. Like some stuff's obviously going to need to be earned or be through special events. So that is interesting on that side of things. Um, there's lots of mobile game updates that just really did not care about, as they usually do with these. They're like Pokemon Sleep and those kind of things, Masters things. The big thing though for me is Gen 10. Pokemon, was it Winds and Waves? I think is what it is. Um, I think the game looks great. I don't have any kind of notes up front. I mean, really haven't seen too much of it yet. I think that the starters look fun. You got, I don't remember what their names are. Well, Pokemon always have silly names. There's the bird, there's the fire dog, and then there is the salamander looking thing. I think they all. I think
Oh my
this
god, the
gen. I
bird
don't.
is my favorite because it's like, bruh, what is his name? I love that.
It definitely looks like it's stolen straight from Angry Birds. Um, and I like all the people making their guesses, kind of what the final forms will be. Some people are going full on sarcasm and being like they're all going to be kind of like beefy, like muscle wrestling characters, kind of like Incineroar.
Hmm.
And then some people are taking some really serious takes on them too. But I honestly and genuinely, I feel like this is the first gen where I'm like, I know kind of generally what direction I'm going to go, but I don't think there's any there. I'm just like, nope, I really don't like you, but I like you and I like you. Um, I think I could definitely see myself playing with all of them. Although I will probably, I feel like I'm going to go with the grass bird, but I don't know. Because it's one of those things you think about advantages. There's a lot of water here, which means there's probably going to be a lot of water Pokemon. Um, I also really enjoyed the Pokemon Company um, um, teasing IGN because IGN made a comment about the water, and the Pokemon Company was like, "Too much water, 7.8 out of 10." uh, Referring back to that well memed review of what was it, Omega Sapphire and Alpha Ruby or whatever order those were in, um, where the big complaint on the review was too much water. So there was that
Yeah.
there. But I think graphically it looks really nice. It's definitely if you look at what's there and compare it to what we've seen on the Switch too, like they definitely are at least trying to increase the graphical fidelity.
Hmm.
And so that's nice. It definitely is an up step from where it has been in the past. I mean, I think like the water effects and that kind of stuff look really nice from what's there. So it'd be really interesting to see. Although I think honestly, the biggest surprise of this was it is a 2027 release. That shocked me. Not that it's a bad thing, not a bad
Hmm.
shock. More that they're passing up the 30th year anniversary to give this more time in the oven, and I think that's great. I don't think you should rush out games to hit an arbitrary anniversary, so that is a good thing. But I am very optimistic with what they had to show. So hopefully, as we see more stuff of it, coming over the couple next, well, I guess a year probably,
Hmm.
um, we're gonna see a lot more of this game and kind of, watch it, kind of unfold as we go through. But it will give them a lot of time to kind of spread things out and get a lot of excitement in there, and I think that's all really great. So I don't know if there's anything else on the Pokemon Direct or Pokemon 10 that you wanted to talk about there, but I think those are, at
Um,
least to me, the highlights. So.
yeah, I mean, I did like what we saw for the new generation. That was really cool. Um, that
Definitely a
I
much better show than when they showed off Scarlet and Violet too, if you remember.
yes,
Those
but
trailers were
also,
very vague.
I don't know if you saw the like leaks like last year, but this pretty much confirmed every single one of them is real. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, we talked about them on the podcast, so
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't know how
um
much of the videos and stuff that were out that you saw, so that's why I was asking.
we took quite a bit into it.
Okay.
So yeah, no, this definitely is very much in line with what the leaks had shown. So it'll be interesting to see how much of that has carried through. The big
Mhm.
thing to remember with the leaks that we went through was they definitely were very early in development when that stuff leaked. So the framework is there and it seems like they have stuck to that, but whether or not like the finer details, like things like the some of the really, because I don't know if you remember, I remember saying this very frankly when we were on the podcast talking about those leaks. I was like, these things that are in these documents are very optimistic on Game Freak's skill level
Mhm.
and investment. And some of the things that they were proposing, I'm like, there's no way all of these things will be in this game. Like it's just it's too much. Be awesome if it was. Like what is it? Like they had like the randomly generated islands and things like that. Like there was a lot of stuff that would be really cool in there and it'd be really neat to see. Even certain Pokemon that kind of changed, with time over it. Um, but it's hard to say for sure kind of what all is in there because those leaks were definitely very far in pre-development and considering too that we're still a year out, like there's still a lot that could even change there too. But hopefully the goal would be just a game that runs smoothly from the get-go. That I
Hmm.
think would be a great place to start. Set the bar low there, but like I said, I'm at least cautiously optimistic on what we've seen so far there, so yeah, it will be nice. Um, yeah, and those leaks were very exciting. So it'll be
Yep.
hopefully they can keep that momentum up with what they have coming out. But I am really excited for actually the thing I'm excited more about the most. I glanced over it because I don't. It was in the direct, but it was not really a big focus there. But Pokopia, which comes out this week, and
Oh yeah,
I think
that's
it's
right. That's right.
yeah. I don't know if it's changed, but it was at one point the highest rated Pokemon game. So we will see. It's been getting a very favorable reviews, like incredibly good reviews.
It's awesome.
Um, yeah, it's supposed to be really good. Definitely kind of. I think we talked about it with the preview thing recently, but I watched another preview yesterday. Well, I guess it would be considered a review. I watched a review yesterday, and they definitely compared it very strongly to like Viva Pinata and that kind of stuff. Viva Pinata, Animal Crossing, and like Dragon Quest Builders seem to be the very common themes that I see people mentioning. So that looks really good. I'm really excited to kind of get my hands on that. But yeah, looks very good.
Hmm.
Did you have anything else Pokemon wise to talk about?
Uh, no, no, not really.
Okay. Did you watch the Indie Direct today?
I did.
Did you have anything you want to say on that?
Nope.
Oh.
Blueprints, which I mentioned before, was a very good game, was announced for Switch uh 2 today, and
Mm-hmm.
it's out now
All right.
already
Yeah.
for $20.
Yep. On sale even.
That's pretty much the only thing I would say is worth even paying attention from the Indie Direct. There was some other stuff there, but like I really just don't feel like there was enough. I like okay, so I like blinked and the whole direct was over. It was
Yeah, it was really
crazy. I
short. It
feel
was
like
only 15 minutes.
it felt like it was 10. It felt yeah.
I looked at the list of things that they announced. I mean, it was less than 10 games. So it was not substantial. Um there's definitely I already bought Blueprints when I saw it was announced and on sale. So I got that
Nice.
already queued up. I was excited for that. I think the other game that you talked about, what was it last week? Was that on there too?
The one about the train, right? Or are we talking about something else?
Um I was thinking about the one like the building one
Uh
where you have like the RV or whatever and you're kind of
oh
driving
yeah.
around.
Yeah, that was announced
Mhm.
on Switch. Yep.
Because I remember
100%.
we talked about that that last week, and I was like, "Oh, that looks
Yep.
really cool."
Yep.
So that was kind of promising. The train one actually looks right up your alley.
It
If we're
is
talking about the same
100%
one,
up my alley.
it
Yeah.
has a demo out today too.
I know it,
Um,
it had one on Steam Next Fest the other week, and I downloaded it. I literally forgot to play it. So
oh, yeah,
I
that
have
one.
yeah,
I
it's
was
still
like,
right
"This
here.
is a
I have it.
Brandon game if I've ever seen it."
Yep.
It gives me Jet Set Radio
That's
vibes,
it. Radio
and
Katamari. It's got all those like
yeah,
feelings to it. Yep. I love the idea of it. Yeah, I already it's been on PC for like a week. The demo has.
yeah.
Oh,
So there you
way
go.
longer than a week. February 19th is when the demo came out.
Okay, so like almost a month.
Yeah. Yeah, almost I wouldn't say a whole month, but like 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost 3 weeks is almost a month.
Yeah, you're right.
Um, but yeah, that looks. Honestly, like I said, I think the stuff that they had there was not bad. It was definitely like a quantity versus quality kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
it was very short. Like the whole
yeah,
thing was.
which is surprising.
I don't.
But I think that they kind of blew their load a little bit with the Partners Direct like a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
Um, so there's that. I also honestly, and this is just me speculating, I strongly think they are going to do something next week.
We'll see.
So we will see. That was kind of my theory that threw you off
As
on our
yeah, I
chat
was so
earlier this week.
confused because I saw there was a direct today, right?
Hmm.
And I thought you were saying there was a Mario direct today, and that we should do like our podcast revolving around the Mario direct, like watch it. And then I looked into it further after like taking care of my dad last night and whatnot. I went and had him checked on and everything, and then I saw, oh, wait a minute, this isn't a Mario Direct. This is an Indie Direct. I'm an idiot. I didn't pay attention to what the Direct is for tomorrow, so I thought we were going to be talking about a Mario Direct today initially, and then
I
I just,
wish.
yeah, yeah,
No, so my theory is so next Tuesday is Mario Day, March
yep,
10th. Um, Nintendo traditionally always does a direct in February or March, like a general direct, which we
yeah,
are due for still.
mm-hmm.
Um, and also, interestingly, if you've been kind of following along, the other thing that the Pokemon Presents did was it left a giant fucking hole in the holiday season. Um, because without Pokemon being there this year, which a lot of people were expecting,
Yeah,
now there's no tentpole game for the holiday season, and would not surprise me if that also may have been deliberate. Because if Nintendo has something really big there, then they're not going to worry about Pokemon anyways. And there's been a lot of speculation, and understandably so, that Nintendo is probably working on a 3D Mario game. It's been quite a few years since Odyssey came out. I think it's like 7 or 8 or 9 years at this point. So, good amount of time. They definitely have had enough time to get something in the oven there.
mm-hmm.
And also, um, this is a big year for Mario because, we're coming off the 40th anniversary for that. You have the new Mario movie coming out in like 2 months. So you have that. There's new Mario amiibo coming out. There's a lot of Mario stuff like in this general vicinity right now that it makes sense that theoretically you could probably get a good speculation that Nintendo is going to do a Mario game this year. The rumor people are all like, yeah, it's coming, but I don't believe them, especially with first party stuff like this. This
Yeah,
stuff is usually locked down really tight. So anyone that I think is speculating on it is just purely guessing.
yep,
Um, but Nintendo also has gone out of their way to get a lot of the other side stuff out of the way for a general direct. We just had a partners direct. We just had an indie direct. We just had the Pokemon Presents. We just had all these kind of like updates on a lot of the other early 2026 games. Like they just did the Treehouse for Pokopia and Mario Wonder update that is there. Pokopia comes out this week, so that's even off the radar with once that's out. So it seems like they're in a very good place to do it. They usually do directs on Tuesdays, which is March 10th. So it's kind of
mm-hmm.
like the stars seemed aligned to make Mario Day a big day for them this year. Listen, whether or not they do it, who knows? But I feel like if they are sitting on a Mario game, this is the right opportunity to do it. So we shall see. Um, so and you will know by this time next week, listeners, because it either exists or it doesn't. So there's that. We'll see how good this predicting goes. But as I think a lot of times if there's smoke, there's
I
water, and
think
everything's lined up. So
I was gonna say, I think if it doesn't exist, like, then what are we doing? You know?
yeah, I mean, obviously there's still stuff that is announced for this year, but we don't.
Oh, no, my point is like Mario Day, like that's a kind of a big deal. Like they should definitely be doing something for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, more than just the usual. Like, here's $10 off these select Mario games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, and especially too with the Mario movie coming out so soon.
Yeah, I was at
Um,
Walmart today, and they had so much stuff from the Mario movie out. I was like, "What the hell?"
yeah, I definitely have started to see it creep in a lot more lately. Like more previews and things like that. Um, so it's
They had
coming.
like gigantic play sets that I saw. I was like, "Damn, that's crazy."
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there. I feel like there's. Oh, maybe it was a Lego set. I don't know. There are some cool like Nintendo sets that they've had recently, but the
Mm-hmm.
Lego stuff especially always feels so freaking expensive.
So
Um,
the thing that I saw wasn't a Lego set. It was like a literal like playset specifically made for the movie.
oh,
Like it was like
interesting.
a big diorama of like Peach's castle and everything.
That's kind of cool. Wish I had that
Hmm.
stuff when I was a kid.
Let me
Um,
see if I can find it because it was actually like really neat. Mario Galaxy. Because it's specifically like the Mario Galaxy movie, right? Yeah. Oh, they had
yeah.
something I actually really wanted to buy there. That wasn't Mario. It was actually Sonic. It was a crossover where it was like DC superheroes and Sonic characters, and they had like Mario. I mean, not Mario. They had Shadow. I'm sorry. I'm reading this and seeing something else. They had Shadow and Batman as like
Okay.
a crossover thing. It was really neat.
Yeah, I think I found the playset that you're talking about. Looks
Yeah,
pretty nice.
I found the Bowser one. I haven't found the Peach one that I saw, but I found the Bowser one. That one's cool.
Yeah, the one I'm looking at right now, it's like it's a castle with Mario and Peach, and it opens up on the inside, and then it's got like some blocks and bullet bill and things like that inside it. It looks really
Yeah,
nice though.
yeah,
Yeah.
it looks cool. It was neat. I think it was like $50 or some shit when I saw it. I was like, what the fuck?
Let's see. It looks like so from the Nintendo website, it is $30.
Oh, okay. And then I must have saw something else that was 50. Hold on, let me go check this. Nintendo Mario Galaxy. Maybe I find it there. Is it gonna show me it if I go there? Is it like where do you see this on Nintendo's site, by the way?
I will just send you the link.
Yeah, that works because I'm like sitting here because I saw multiple of them and I want to see this again.
It's in general.
Okay. Yep, this is the one I saw. 100% this. This thing was cool as fuck.
All right.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
this
it
one
looks really
and
nice.
I saw the Bowser one also, which I just found on yeah. This is cool.
Yeah, I saw the Bowser one when I was doing the search as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, all sorts of cool stuff.
sure do.
Anyways, anything else to talk about? I think we kind of covered all the bases.
No, I don't think I got anything else.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Um,
Let me think for 1 second. No, I don't think we have anything.
okay. Yeah, I couldn't find any other news. I mean, this is all the stuff I had saw. So, all right. So let's wrap it up then. Thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. All of our episodes are available on game-crunch.com. If you want to send us a message, gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon.
Yep.
Any final thoughts?
No, I got nothing.
Okay. Well, that's it. My name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me online. I'm Clash of Penguin there or on your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game on.
Red light to a plastic frame, back from the vault, it's a brand new game. It's a glitch in time, a pixel crime. Virtual boys got that crimson hue, virtual fever, it's breaking through. Is it real or fake? Can't escape the ink. Throw on the visor, step in the glow. Love's in 3D, don't let it go. Virtual love is back again. Neon hearts and the data spin. It's a red hot love, it's a binary trend. Virtual boys got me locked in. I'm a joystick fool, can't click the screen. Living the dream in a low-res scene. Every blink's a buzz, every move's a fuzz. I'm caught in a loop, no way to save, but I'd play this forever on this beat. Game over? Nah, I'm here to stay. Step in the glow, love's in 3D, don't let it go. Is it real or fake? Can't escape the ink. Throw on the visor, step in the glow, love's in 3D, don't let it go. Love's in 3D, don't let it go. Throw on the visor, step in the glow, love's in 3D, don't let it go. It's a red hot love, it's a binary trend. Virtual boys got me locked in. Love's in 3D, don't let it go. I'm your joystick fool, can't quit the screen. Love's in 3D, don't let it spin. It's a red hot love, it's a binary trend. Virtual boys got me locked in. I'm a joystick fool, can't quit the screen. Living the dream in a low res scene. Every blink's a buzz, every move's a fuzz. I'm caught in a loop, no way to save. But I play this forever, I'll play. But I'll misbehave, game over. Nah, I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay.
Oh, there was one more thing I just remembered. Not
What is
important. Pokemon XD is coming out for the GameCube in March.
Oh
They
yeah,
also
that's
announced
right. That looked
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
I just got an email that says thank you for activating your product on Steam. And it says activation of Tacoma Dev Playtest Beta Comp was successful. Damn guys, I don't know if you could have named that something a little bit more inconspicuous, but come on guys.
Uh,
I got access
Yeah.
to another game that's not out yet, so. But that's what the placeholder for the title of the game is. So silly.
Yeah. Actually, another random thing. Um, the I don't know if it's any interest to you. Humble Bundle had a bundle with Witcher and Cyberpunk books.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Probably wouldn't buy it, but that's cool. That's where I got my key for wow, my brain's not working. Humble Bundle's where I got my key for Marathon.
For what?
Marathon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I haven't bought anything on there in a while, actually.
And they do Switch 2 things on the store.
Oh, do they? Like
Mhm.
digital things?
Yep.
Yeah, I should probably pay more attention to it. But they had like a shit ton of
Yeah,
like a
Pocopia's on
shit
there.
ton of things. Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Save $7 more with Humble Choice on Pocopia.
Not bad.
Yep. This game looks fun. I really want to play this one.
I'm very excited for it. I think.
You think? Yeah.
I definitely have like I'm in like game congestion mode right now, which I don't feel like I have not had that happen. I feel like in a while where I'm just like actively playing like too many things and that's overwhelming. So I have like Resident Evil, I have Pokemon that I'm kind of middle in. Then you got Pokopia coming out. I got Resident Evil 7 I'm currently playing. Resident Evil 8's kind of waiting there. I just bought Blueprints. And then then there's all that. I mean, I don't have any aside from Pokopia. I don't have any other big releases this month, so it should give me time to kind of meddle through things. I hope. And then once April rolls around, Tamagotchi, but that's not really a time-consuming game. So I'm not really expecting that to suck up too much time. Pragmata.
I'm probably gonna finish Resident Evil, and then all of my time will be taken by Marathon until it
Yeah,
either gets more updates or dies. We'll see
whichever
which one
comes
happens.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's off to a good start, so that's good. At least it's not going to die on release like a lot of these other games.
Yeah, we hope. I hope.
I know. I guess it's really, really too soon to say, especially considering we've seen how easy it is to just make some really bad decisions at launch and then also sabotage your game. So,
Yep.
well,
Yep.
we will see. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that will be, hopefully, will end up being good. I feel like there's also some other strange. Oh, there's another rumor too about Blue Point I saw, and you probably saw it as well. But apparently, Blue Point did try to remake Bloodborne and were shot down.
Yes.
Not by Sony, but by
By FromSoft.
FromSoft.
Yes.
And I even just saw a rumor just before we got on the podcast that not only were shot down, apparently 9 other pitches from other companies also came in to remake that game, and all of them were shot down. They just have no interest in remaking that game, like period.
So that is not exactly right. It's not that they have no interest in remaking that game. It's that Miyazaki himself wants to remake it, and he
Is
doesn't
he
want
actively
other.
remaking it?
No. The thing is, he's got so many other projects that he wants that to be something he works on after his other projects. So, like after Dusk Bloods, I think that's what was coming out next. Um, he he doesn't want anyone touching it. He feels like it's his magnum opus, more or less, and he doesn't trust other people to remake the game.
Well,
That's
that's understandable.
essentially where they're at right now. Um, Sony wanted him to let them remake it, and there's also some like general sketchiness there as well, because technically, if they were to remake Bloodborne and Bluepoint was owned by Sony, or any of the other companies that Sony had pitch a remake for Bloodborne, because it was
Hmm.
mostly companies that Sony owned that they were having pitch doing a remake for Bloodborne. Um, Miyazaki is kind of on guard because he wants to keep the rights to Bloodborne. He wants to be the sole proprietor of Bloodborne, essentially. And they felt like, in some respect, that they were trying to find a way to go around him so that they could take the rights to Bloodborne from him
The
by
way I
doing
had read
something
it,
like
and you probably
making.
know this more than
Yeah.
me, was that if Sony wanted to, they would be able to do it, but out of respect for Miyazaki, they were agreeing to do whatever he wanted to do.
So, no, not exactly, because it's like a 60-40 split, essentially, where Miyazaki has enough so that he has full rights over it. But if what was to happen, like say something like he gives the rights to make a remake of it to this company or that company, then that would split the rights more and make him lose more of his ability to have control over the IP. And the way he saw, in some respect, what was going on was a way to sabotage him and take the IP from him. And he just started being like, I'm just not going to respond to your ass, more or less. That's one of the rumors going around, aside from the other rumors that are already out there right now. Um, I don't know what's
so there's
what.
a quote from Miyazaki I'm looking at right now, and this says, when was this from? Where's it? Where's the date on this?
So there's one like 2 years ago where he essentially said that
I
he
guess it really
was.
doesn't matter. I'll just read the quote because
Yeah,
that's really what I'm pulling in for here. Anyways. Oh, here it
this is
is. This
probably
is
one
yeah,
from
this is
2 years
about two
ago.
years ago.
Yep.
He says, unfortunately, I said this in my other interviews. It's not my place to talk about Bloodborne specifically. He says
Mm-hmm.
we don't own the IP at From Software. For me personally, it was a great project. I have lots of great memories of the game, but we're not at liberty to speak to it.
Correct. He doesn't
And
own it,
everything
but
else I've seen
because
basically
it's a
kind of
split
echoes that
ownership.
Sony owns all the rights to publish and produce this game. And so it sounds like it really is like if Sony wanted to go around them and do it, I don't see anything that can stop them. I've not seen anything that says that they own any portion of the game. Um, but he like I said, he is quite frank here. We simply don't own the IP at From Software.
Mm.
And like I said, one of the rumors I said specifically was literally like if Sony wanted to green like this, they could, but they didn't want to piss off Miyazaki, which makes sense because you do that, and then FromSoft's going to be like,
I'm not
"Well,
going to
fuck
release
you
on your
too."
platform anymore. Yeah.
Um, even if it is there. But where's that? I can just tell you even what the rumor I saw to like right before I came on was. Because I know I just saw it, so it's got to be at the top of this list.
Mm-hmm. No, it looks like you are right that Sony does own the rights to that. I thought that this must have been like from way back when, like maybe 5 or so years ago, when it wasn't fully understood who had it. Because
Yeah, it
that's
wasn't clear.
yeah, exactly. So yeah,
Yeah. So the rumor was former PlayStation dev says From Software has rejected 10 plus studios that pitched a Bloodborne remake, sequel, or spinoff.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Maybe someone should have pitched Bloodborne Kart. Maybe that's what they were waiting for. So there's that one. High Guard's closing on the 12th. There's lots of Resident Evil rumors, but I feel like there always is.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 1 remake is apparently underway. I'm actually kind of surprised that they did that. So there is that one. Apparently, at one point in the game, Jill was supposedly in the development side of things.
Mm.
New Gran Turismo in development. It's not a surprise. Apparently, there's another God of War game that's maybe more like Devil May Cry coming out.
Nice. So like the original God of War.
Yeah, probably. It sounds like it's maybe the thing I had saw too said maybe it was you play as Faye, but it wasn't. I want to say it wasn't set in Norse mythology. I want to say it was set somewhere else, but I can't remember what the rumor was.
Mhm.
But it's supposed to be more of like an action style game. Where was that? Code Veronica remake next year. But then there's another rumor. Supposedly, apparently data miners did find evidence of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald in the emulator for those games, so those are probably coming out. Oh, and last one apparently, because we did talk about this last year. Sony's shift from PC, supposedly they are actually considering reducing the amount of single player. Supposedly it's more single player focused PC. They're going to phase away. Who knows? I remember we talked about it and I was pretty sure that they were going to do that last year, but then I remember seeing how much money they made off of it and I was like, oh, maybe not. You could see. So, but they got to be shitting bricks with what Microsoft's doing, so who knows? I don't know. But that's all my things. That's all I got.
Yeah, I got nothing. I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. So I'll see you next week.
All right. See you too.
Yeah,
All right.
have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.